President Trump furious tonight, slamming the FBI raids on his attorney Michael Cohen. I want to bring in now three CNN political commentators: Charles Blow, op-ed columnist for the New York Times; Ana Navarro, a Republican strategist; and Steve Cortes, a former Trump campaign advisor. Good evening to one and all. So, Steve, President Trump called the raid on Cohen an attack on our country and an attack on what we all stand for. Is that appropriate?
I think it's totally appropriate, Don. Look, this is an outrage. What were we promised by the Mueller probe? We were promised Russia. And what do we end up with here? Sex. And a tawdry tale from 12 years ago, far before Donald Trump ever even thought about it.
Hey, Steve, can I just stop you right there? These are two separate investigations. This is not Mueller's investigation. This is
okay,
the Southern
but it's a
District of New
referral
York.
from Mueller. But it's a referral. That's disingenuous, Don. Let's be honest. Your show and this network, for months and months, have screamed, Russia, Russia, Russia. Guess what? There's nothing there that connects to President Trump.
How do you know? Are you part of the investigation?
Are there some
Steve,
tangential
how do you know that?
people?
No. How do you know that?
How do I know it?
Because, are you part of the investigation?
Because if you take 20 lawyers, biased lawyers who hate the president, tens of millions of dollars, the full investigatory power of the United States government, and you can't find anything after a year and a half of investigating.
You realize all these people you're talking about, most of them were handpicked. The people who are running this investigation were handpicked by the president of the United States. And many of the people who are running this investigation or part of this investigation are also Republicans. How did all of a sudden Robert Mueller, hold on. How did all of a sudden Robert Mueller, who was beloved by the right wing and by Donald Trump and by everyone, all of a sudden become a pariah because he's maybe doing his job?
I think this is important. Being a Republican hardly means, and you know better than this, Don, being a Republican hardly means that you're in favor of President Trump. The Republicans
only reason I say that is because he said it's a witch hunt by the Democrats, and he says that most of the people on the team are either Democrats or have donated to Democratic candidates.
They are Republicans who can't stand the president. And by the way, I think the Republicans, sadly, are as complicit in what's going on right now in terms of these swamp tactics as the Democrats are. And let me just be very blunt. The president needs to fire Jeff Sessions. He needs to fire Rosenstein. He needs to fire Mueller. This is a sham investigation. This is his own Justice Department trying to usurp the power of the presidency. If the Congress wants to investigate this, they're a co-equal branch. Go at it. Please.
So if he's innocent, then why would he fire all these people?
His own Justice Department.
If he's innocent, why would he fire these people?
Because, no, it's not a matter of innocence. It's because they are creating a witch hunt atmosphere that is really, in many ways, I think, reminiscent of what we see in dictatorships. When you raid the President of the United States, private attorneys' residences and offices, and when you say that we're going to pierce attorney-client privilege, what you're admitting here is we have nothing on Russia, nothing significant, nothing we can hang our hat on, but we are going to find a way or make a way to impeach the President of the United States. Let's just be honest. That's the end goal here. That is the goal of the Washington swamp. It's the goal of the media, is to impeach the president. And the president has to say, enough. We have business in this country to attend to.
That's quite a tale you've weaved there, but go on, Anna. What do you...
It's quite a tale, and it happens to be the truth, and it's why the president needs to take action.
Go ahead, Anna. Go ahead.
Are we done now?
We're hardly done, but...
Listen, I'm one of those true Republicans that can't stand this president because he has hijacked the Republican Party, and he has hijacked democracy. That being said, frankly, Don, the Trump apologist on the panel has pivoted and distracted so much. I kind of forgot what your original question was, so could you kindly refresh my memory?
I said the president called the raid on Cohen an attack on our country and an attack on what we all stand for. Is that appropriate?
Okay. Yes, it is appropriate, and let me tell you why. One of the things that differentiates the United States of America from many other countries, including dictatorships, is that in this country, nobody.
You think it's appropriate for him to call it? You think it's appropriate for him to call it an attack on our country?
I think it's appropriate. I think it's appropriate for Michael Cohen to be investigated and to be raided. Because in the United States of America, one of the things that distinguishes us from many other countries is that in this country, nobody, not the President of the United States or his minions or his personal lawyer or whomever, is above the law. They are all subject to the law, and they all need to behave legally. And so I do think it is appropriate for him to have be raided. Look, follow the trail, follow the money trail. I mean, I actually marvel at the fact that Donald Trump has gotten as far as he has gotten with his limited intellectual curiosity, vocabulary of about a 4-year-old, and the worst damn lawyer that any of us have ever seen.
Anna,
I mean, this guy couldn't even get an NDA executed.
Anna, you have been demeaning the president in this manner for so long. You know what? He went to an Ivy League university and is a self-made billionaire. I wish I were that dumb. I don't know about you. I think he's a pretty smart man. But more importantly, let's get to the point that matters to our democracy.
Are you going to let Charles talk, or are you going to continue pivoting and distracting? Because it really takes up a lot of time, and we only have one segment. Can you let Charles on? Because you really do this a lot. You talk and talk and talk.
Steve, make your point so we can bring Charles in.
Steve, your entire filibustering thing is getting a little old.
I'm trying to.
Okay, at this point, there's three of us, and there's three of us in this panel. You spoke all you wanted to without any of us interrupting. I now spoke, and now it's Charles Blow's turn.
Robert Mueller is not above the law.
At
right
CNN.
Now, he answers to no one,
okay,
which is
Steve.
why.
Of course he's not above the law.
All right, Charles, go ahead. Charles, here's what everyone.
Go ahead,
a lot of people tried
Charles,
to downplay. A lot of people tried to downplay the whole Stormy Daniels story. They were saying, "Oh, this is about an affair he had," and we knew it wasn't about an affair that he had years ago. This is about possible breaking the law, campaign finance, breaking election laws, and that's what it appears that this may have come down to.
Right, and wouldn't that be incredibly ironic if this piece of it, becomes the thing that becomes the biggest thorn in his side? But around that story, there's always been just an incredible amount of smoke. What did Cohen tell his bank when he was getting the loan? He says he got a loan against a second mortgage or something. Yeah. What did he tell them? You can't lie to them and say that it's for one thing and it's for another. Why did it trip the bank's the detectors basically, and they reported it? Why did the president know about the agreement, which he says now he did not know about? Did he know about the payment? Did the president pay him back? Did Cohen ever ask the president to pay him back? I mean, there's a lot of smoke around this, and the easiest way not to get in trouble is to tell the truth, right? And I don't know yet if they have told that truth, but something about their activities around this caught the eye of Mueller and his investigators. They referred it to another group of FBI investigators, Southern District attorneys of New York. They went to a judge. A judge evaluated what they brought to them, and he said, it looks like this warrants the search warrant, right? So something there is tripping a lot of triggers.
Well, and there are 6 major things that you have to attain in order to get. Before obtaining a search warrant, investigators had to obtain the evidence in another way, such as by subpoena. The authorization for the warrant had to come from either the U.S. attorney or an assistant attorney general, which is Rod Rosenstein, which is above that. The prosecutor had to confer with the criminal division of the department before seeking the warrant. The team conducting the search had to employ adequate precautions to ensure that they weren't improperly viewed privileged communications between Cohen and his clients. The search team would have included privileged team, or some people call it a clean team, including lawyers and agents not working on the case, which would work to ensure that investigators conducting the search didn't see privileged communications, and the investigators had to develop a review process for the seized material. That's a lot of hoops to jump through to say that this is a witch hunt.
Absolutely. And it's a lot of hoops. I'm sorry.
It's a lot of hoops, but Don, I'd love to know what happened to Russia. Where did Russia go?
Again, as I said, hang on.
Why does he keep talking? Like, seriously.
As I said,
he's been talking
I know we're
segment.
crunched for time, but this is an important conversation. As I said from the very beginning when you started to talk, these are 2 separate investigations. One is the Southern District of New York. The other one is Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Both of them can play out.
Listen, tell Mr. Trump not to meet up with porn stars when he's married and drop his trousers and let her spank him with a magazine, Charles, if he does not want to get caught up in that. If he doesn't want to get caught up in that.
Okay, guys, I gotta go.
It's very easy to keep